is really just kind of talk about the concept of videos. Obviously, if you go to a lot of meetings today, there's presenters. They're going to really try to tell you that videos are the wave of the future, and that you probably should be making them. You probably should incorporate them into your website, into your social media presence, and that's certainly something I do agree with. People always ask, what's the value of having a video? And for me, I don't know if there's really any value. The way I look at it is that it's kind of like you have 10 people who come and they look at your LinkedIn page or they look at your website, right? And probably 5 of them are going to read everything on there. But the other 5 people, they may be pressed for time, or they may not, they may not be into learning via reading. They may be, better learning through a video. So my point is this. My point is if you ever want to be very successful at marketing, you always have to realize that everyone's different. Everyone looks at things differently. And even though you may have designed it to affect one type of person, you want to try to have the best balance you can so that you can get at least 9 out of 10 people understanding what you do and how you help them. So my point is sometimes it's good to have all these really well-written paragraphs. Other times it's good to have a little video that just walks somebody through the exact same concept. So that being said, let me kind of take you through the thought process and some insight on the feedback I get from talking to people. And to be honest, the number one thing people usually call up and say is I'd love to have videos on my website, Ken. I'd love to have really professionally done videos. Maybe I'll go to a film studio and have it done and blah, blah, blah. And the reality is 99% of those people, or we'll call them insurance agents, who usually have those aspirations, they never get the video made. And the reason they never get the video made is, 1, it's probably going to be expensive. 2, it's going to take a lot of time. And 3, they've never done it before, so they're probably a little nervous to do it. So I guess the point of today's webinar is just to kind of get you understanding that forget about making that professionally shot video, and start to figure out how can you make a video really efficiently and quickly so that you can get it into production and try it out as fast as possible. And that's really been the thing that's really helped me. And maybe I'll take you through the ways video have helped me over the last few years, and that can kind of allow you to understand what you can do. So right off the bat, you have to understand how the process works. How do you actually make the video, okay? And with today, in 2014, the reality is if you have any type of smartphone, you probably can make a video in 5 minutes. I mean, is it going to be any good? Is it going to be the greatest thing ever? That's to be debated. But you could create a video on your phone, okay? So that's one way to do it. The next level is to have some sort of camcorder, okay? Do you need to have like microphones and lighting and all that? To be honest, probably not, okay? So that's another way you can make videos, is certainly through some sort of camcorder, which you can get today pretty affordably. The third way, which I do all the time, is you can use a service like GoToMeeting or some other type of online sharing service to make videos. And it's funny, I bring up GoToMeeting, and guys, honestly, I'm not here to try to sell you on GoToMeeting. I could care less about them. I probably pay about $800 a year, maybe it's $700 a year to use GoToMeeting. And every time I tell people about GoToMeeting, they always tell me how stupid I am to use it, and that I should use the free version. There's all sorts of versions out there, to do my webinars and to do all that. And checking into these free versions, very few of them let you record the session you're doing. Just like right now, guys, I'm recording this webinar, and I'm going to then take that file and go into YouTube, and you're just looking at my YouTube channel here. I mean, I have thousands of videos, that I've created on YouTube via, via GoToMeeting. Like here's an example of one. Here's an old webinar, LinkedIn profile setup. It's just me sharing my computer screen, creating a video. Is it the most professional video ever made? No, but it has its purpose. And I think that's where a lot of agents struggle. They think the video has to be so grandioso and so amazing that it never gets done. Whereas if you can make these things pretty quick, and if they have a purpose, they absolutely can be an asset to you. So if we look at my LinkedIn profile, and we've talked about this in the past, LinkedIn now lets you put videos and PowerPoint presentations right in your summary. And, you know, my strategy is this. Some people like to come in here and read the summary. Other people like to click on the video and watch it. And, you know, it's got audio, it's got me talking. You know, why can't that be you? Why can't that be you talking about how you help consumers with risk management or employee benefits or enrollment problems or what? There's no reason you can't set that up. So I don't mean to ramble on, but I think my point is when you create a video, it doesn't mean it just has to be on your website. It can be on your LinkedIn profile. It can be part of an email marketing campaign that you do that explains what you're trying to convert. But I think my point initially was that all of that sounds great, but if you can't figure out how to make the video quickly and efficiently, there's no point in even thinking about it. And I guess where I was going is I find that so many agencies, they desperately want to do this stuff, but they never can figure out how to create the video, and it never gets done. So there's really no point of even strategizing. So what I suggest you guys do is just for fun, you know, try it out. Try to make a 30-second video on your phone. What's the worst that's going to happen? Create it on your phone. Just, you know, try to talk about your agency for 30 seconds or something like that, and then go in, and if you haven't done so already, go to youtube.com. Create your own account, okay? Create your own account, and then take that video that you've made on your phone and just email it to yourself, okay? Email it to yourself, and then all you have to do is go into YouTube, and I'll just kind of go back to the beginning here. Go to YouTube once you have created your account, and there's a button here at the top that says Upload, right? All you have to do is click on that Upload button, and you just go, click on Upload, and then it says Select Files. Okay, so you've emailed it to yourself. Now you can upload it right in, and it will create the video for you. And then once it creates the video for you, then you have a link to that video. You can put that on your website. You can embed it in your website. You can put it on Facebook. You can put it on LinkedIn. You can put it in an email. And I guess, you know, today's webinar is try to get you to think about that. Like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and just BS you guys and tell you, oh, you need to make all these great videos. The reality is most people don't make them because they don't know how to make them. The point of today's webinar is to get you thinking, okay, if we do make a video, how are we going to go about it? What's our budget? How much time are we going to put into it? And, you know, actually make it possible. So once you know, obviously once you guys can create videos, then you start to think of the types of videos you want to create. And, you know, for the clients I have, these are down here are the kind of videos I tend to put on websites. Usually someone will talk about their agency. They'll kind of give an overview on how they help the consumer. So you get those. You also get a lot of people creating what I would call how-tos or reviews. And that's kind of what I do. I do a lot of social media training webinars. But I find that a lot of insurance agents, specifically, you know, this fall we saw a lot of healthcare reform. I had guys who were creating videos on how to go into the exchange, how to enroll. Of course, they would tell the people how to put in their exchange username and NPN number. I've had guys, you know, try to explain auto insurance. It's really pretty neat stuff. And I've had a lot of guys in the senior market, the Medicare, the annuities, creating videos that they put on their website so that when they go to the website with the client, you know, a lot of times the husband or the wife isn't there, and they just tell them, look, I just went over the difference between supplements and Advantage and all that stuff. Go to my site, and, you know, when your husband comes home, just watch my video. It reviews exactly everything I just sat here with you talking about. To me, that's kind of the next level of sales. That's how you get your website to become part of your sales model. And that's so important today because even though you may be the greatest salesman ever who can sit there and certainly really talk about the products, you know, once you leave, the consumer tends to forget. So if you can replicate that sales explanation and have it on your website, that's fantastic. And that's what I feel I've been able to do, which has really helped me sell without having to sell. I also see a lot of agencies now going to their clients And a lot of these videos aren't that high tech. They're not that professional. But they'll have a client come in and say, oh, thank you so much for saving me money, or thank you so much for helping me with my unique situation. And my clients are smart enough to whip out their phone and say, hey, would you mind just leaving a quick little testimonial for us? They record it on the phone. They go into YouTube, they upload it, and they say, Ken, I got another testimonial. Can you can you put it on the site? Even though it kind of looks, it's not super professional, that shows how real it is, right? The consumer goes, they can see that this person has come into the office. They're really talking. It's real. It's not scripted. That's good. That's the kind of testimony you'll want. So you can certainly put those on your sites, and I see a lot of that. The things I would stay away from are these generic videos. And what does that mean? Well, I mean, what that means is if you're going to market your agency, you really want it to be designed by you, about your agency. You don't want it to be generic, just about, risk management or healthcare reform or life insurance. Certainly those educational generic videos are great on your product pages. Just probably don't want to feature them. And the other thing, obviously, you want to be careful of, and I have some clients who I run into this, you become video crazy. It's like once you start to learn how to make the videos, next thing you know, I mean, I've had guys who wanted 4 videos on every page of their website, and I had to kind of crack the whip a little bit and say, look, you're ruining the website. It's great to have videos, but what about the people who want to read, right? And I think we can all share I don't know how many of you guys kind of cruise the internet. You ever go to like CNN.com and you see an interesting article, and some of the articles you can read, right? You can read the article, and at the top they'll have kind of like the video of the guys at the CNN headquarters talking about what's going on. But then there's other types of things you click on, and you have to watch the video. For me personally, I kind of like to read and have the video going at the same time so I can kind of listen and then skim it. I know that may sound crazy, but that's how I learn. So my point is it's never good to have all or nothing. You want to have some balance. So that being said, hopefully this kind of gives you a concept on how to get to the next level. You definitely want to start to understand videos, how to make them, but I think the key is this. You want to know how to make them for free. You don't want to get into a situation where you're paying $500, $1,000 to crank out videos, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to constantly be updating these, making new ones. It doesn't make sense to be investing that kind of money. You can definitely make them for free. And like I said, all you have to do is film the video, get the file, get it on your computer, upload it into YouTube, and then call me and I'll help you do whatever you want to do with it. So hopefully today was helpful. Again, we're going to continue to really expand on these types of webinars moving forward, and hope it gave you some good insight. Thanks again, and have a great day.